Guys, yesterday I had the pleasure of speaking with Nick, aka Flopping Groper, a man that needs no introduction and, in my opinion, a very positive influence on the whole crypto space. We talked about where we think the market is going. We talked about trading psychology. We talked about how he evolved as a trader over cycles and a lot of other things. So I do think that this is a really good clip if you're looking to grow as a trader and just get your mental straight. But again, like I said, Nick doesn't really need a introduction. So without further ado, let's get into it. And real quick, all of Nick's info is in the description. Go give him a sub.
Yo, how's it going?
Yo,
Good to hear from you, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Just getting my sleep in, bro. I have not been getting the most sleep. Like these nights have been crazy, bro, for trading, like managing big positions and stuff. So like I just had like the biggest sleep of my life, man. I had to like recharge and shit.
Dude, you and me both. Like, especially since the whole Trader Geo thing started and the Discord, like I've always had bad sleeping problems, but I'm up like updating these guys at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for like our scalp trades and stuff, and it's a lot, man. Like these markets, Asia, bro, they always do the move in Asia lately, I feel like.
I know, man. It's like, well, actually, like I noticed that if I'm not an early bird morning person, like they're at like the New York Open, that's when like a lot of the action has been going on, like that I've been noticing. So I always end up regretting staying up all night looking at numbers and stuff because like I'll go to like it's basically the moment when my spirit is at its weakest and I'm like crawling to my bed
Yeah.
with on 0 HP, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have like
Spooky
1
hours.
HP left and then
Spooky
like the
hours.
market starts moving. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but your like sleep schedule is like mad whack anyway, no? Like you're usually up. What's like you're up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. No. Oh, I guess you're a different
Honestly,
time zone
yeah.
than me.
Yeah, man. My sleep schedule's like always had like I don't know, man. Like I'll just be just up gaming with crypto face or something, like up at some random ass hours and like talking about markets or something.
True.
It's been like this for years, bro. Like
Yeah.
my sleep schedule has always been like on the chopping block. It's like one of the first things I'm willing to sacrifice for gains or for the company or for whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but I just like I'll catch up. Like I'll get like no sleep for 2 days and then I'll sleep for like a full day and shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm the same, man. I don't sleep for like a week and then but I don't get to catch up. That's my problem. Like I'm literally always tired, but I mean, dude, when you're in crypto and you do it for a living, I guess that's kind of what we sign up for, you know?
Yeah, I
So,
don't it's not even about being like a good example or bad example. Like people can I mean that's just who I have to be to do what I do. So I don't even like I mean I don't recommend it, but I would just say like at a certain point in trading the money talks. So
yeah, oh
you're
yeah.
willing to kind of bend anything in your life around the trading because the numbers are so big that like it's just justified to do so. Like I don't care if I have a hot date or if like
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter what's going on. Like unless it's like my grandma dying or something, like
Yeah, yeah.
like the trade is like more important because it's like 5 figures on the line and stuff. So
Dude,
things
100%.
become expensive. It's like oh, you want me to go to Six Flags for some from Mrs. Hagmar's birthday? Well, that's gonna cost me $20,000 because I'm like
Yeah,
not in
literally.
this trade.
Literally. Yeah, dude, for real. Like, and you know what? I feel like lately too, the market, you know how it's been. And so when we do get those like really hot signals, you can't miss them, man. Like, it's so choppy that if you don't catch the top where you can have real confidence, put in like big money down, you're just gonna get chopped up. And the like market cipher and the signals that it's been given are like have been really spot on, but it's just been taking so long. Like we're in such a sideways market and these moves take forever. So, it's easy to get chopped up and get in your head about all that. So I'm with you, bro. Like when it's time to trade, like I don't care if I got shot and I'm about to go to surgery, like nurse, hold off because I got to get in here first and then put me down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. There's entries like it's like a bus stop almost. Like you're sitting there at the bus stop and there isn't
Yeah.
much action, or there is action, but it's choppy. You're just chopping it up with the the lady at the bus stop, basically, you know?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's like if you miss that bus, well, then you're gone. Then the bus is gone. You know what I mean? So yeah, you
yeah,
have to be there at those opportunities, or you could literally just get left behind, which really sucks. Like in your trade, like or you're
yeah.
not in a trade and the market starts moving. And yeah, man, entry is everything, bro. Like the
Yeah.
entry is so important.
Man, that bus stop analogy is actually spot on. Like that's literally you're waiting for the bus, you know? Like like half the time, more than half the time, 90% of the time I'm waiting just for price to do what I want it to do. You know what I mean? Like you're literally
Yeah,
waiting for the
it's that
bus.
meme of the guy like he's like on a swing and then he's like in the pool. And
Yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah.
that meme of the
Yeah.
guy waiting, dude. That's like what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
Like on the swing and his head is like in the puddle, like while the swing is going like back.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what it is, bro. Trading is so boring.
I know, man. And but then
So
you get
boring.
those highs, you get the spikes
Yeah.
of yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I would just say like
how's it going though? Like how's it been going with I mean you're doing well from what I see.
well, the trading has been going amazing. Like I've had ups and downs, and like so, for instance, like I doubled the trading account in a single trade on that like massive dump
Yeah.
down into the 40s. But it's like you said with that choppy price action, like you keep that same level of risk going into the chop that follows that, and it's like you could very easily like give all of that away. And
Yeah.
so this month is still green for me, like 5 figures in the green, but
Okay.
it's not 6 figures in the green. So like I like gave back a lot of those gains that I made on the way down.
Yeah.
I was getting chopped up a bit. But I've had like a couple like good wins too. So like the month is still a great, amazing month. But like as a trader, you do beat yourself up on like, man, like I didn't win as much as I could have, or like
Yeah.
I could have like I could have done that so much better. And so even though like I've made in 1 month more than like a lot of people would make in a year, it's still like an amazing accomplishment. Like you're always beating yourself up, bro. You're always like, man, I should have done this or that, or like
Yeah.
I should be up a half a mil right now, but I'm an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Man, you know what though? Like like it really is shoulda, coulda, woulda, but that's such a dangerous mentality. Obviously, like you can get humbled real quick here, but I think like when you win and you even if you give it back, I'm a huge proponent and something that I've been telling like my members is get good at losing, For me, I don't ever get upset about a loss or about what could have been because at the end of the day, let's just say I didn't make as much as my plan was for, or I could have made more, whatever, it still boosts my confidence. So I still consider it a win because I will move it, like I'll take that lesson forward and I know that I'll hit the next one. And then when I say I want to get good at losing, bro, I'm too petty to let these market makers take my money without me learning from it. So every single loss I take, I go back and analyze and I figure out what I did wrong. And that's why, I'm here doing what I'm like where I'm at right now. So I think for everybody, if you can get good at losing, it'll help you control the emotions. And I sound a little bit hypocritical because like we talked in the past couple days and I've been asking you about your risk management and how things are going. And I do have a couple questions in regards to like your position sizes and stuff, but I am too petty to let these guys take my money, bro. Like I work too hard for it. And so I always preach to get good at losing, but it's good to hear that you're up 5 figures and man, like that's people's dream and you're changing people's lives with your content this year. You have really good growth, so I commend you on that. And
thank you,
yeah,
man.
yeah, man. So I do have some questions though. Like,
Sure.
I feel like this year is like you're a dragon this year. Like you're really coming out of your dragon egg. I mean, I didn't know you basically before this year, but I just feel like, you've been more face forward. You've been more hands on with the actual Market Cipher brand, with the Market Cipher channel. You've kind of taken the lead on that. And, your own words, you said it. You've been living, I don't want to say in the shadow of your brother, but there is some element like he has 200,000 subscribers, the biggest trade record,
Well,
and
I definitely have. That's like an objective fact. Is
okay,
like it's in the same way that like yeah, there's a mountain here, and then there's another mountain next to it. I'm literally in the shadow of my brother. So like I do a lot of things for him,
yeah,
for the company, like managerial stuff, and so I'm 100% my brother's right hand man for like, and it's always been like this, like since we both got into crypto together, like back in like 2016. Like he had the YouTube channel and he needed like someone to help him with his community and like everything that he ever had going on. Like I was in there doing it because I was into crypto as well.
yeah,
So like I've always just loved and accepted that role of like I'm helping my brother help my family. You know, it's like this is like it's
yeah,
our family versus the world. You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
like we're like we're like mafia bosses, bro.
yeah,
but but yeah, man, like this year, like a big part of everything I'm doing is like I'm still like, my brother's keeper and stuff, but a big part of doing that well is showing like just showing everybody, showing the world, showing myself that like after all these years, like what my brother did is replicable. Like I think it's the ultimate testimonial when like let's say you're successful and then like your own blood brother can come in and like follow the same path, walk in the same footsteps and follow the same formula, and then can achieve the same success, not just like monetarily with the trading, but like the personality in the YouTube channel and like just the whole path of like being the man and like figuring out your mind and your money and dedicating your life to like a YouTube channel and just like doing the whole trading thing. Like I set out this year to prove that it can be done. And so yeah, like I guess like that's kind of my goal even above the actual trading performance, which is maybe why my trading has been doing so well because like I'm doing like everything I've done this year like wasn't necessarily out of greed to be like the best trader. Like I just wanted to be the man, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
I just wanted to do like what I was supposed to do, if that makes sense. Like it's almost like a sense of duty or like I should have been doing this all along.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I just had to get moving on it, man. So that was my goal this year and I didn't rush it, bro. Like when I started this year, like I didn't even have my Paloo ID.
Yep.
So like I wasn't even able to trade on Bybit. And like the non KYC exchanges, I just had to do like research and like I was iffy on it, like because I had stopped leverage trading for like I think about 2 years almost. So I was very active like last cycle leverage trading, like Ethereum. Mostly I leverage traded Ethereum, and like the investment popped off, and I was trading it, and like I had other things going on, and so I made a lot of money with Ethereum, but it wasn't like purely through trading. Trading was just like a part of the factor.
Yeah.
Whereas this time around, like I'm very much like growing an account side, like growing a six-figure account
So you're like more of a
deliberately.
you're like you'd call yourself more of a trader this time around.
This time, 100%, I'm like, in my current form, I'm not even a crypto holder. I'm purely a crypto trader.
Nice. Me too. Okay, cool. So I want to talk about like, okay, this is basically where I'm at right now. I feel like there's a gap between my subscribers and myself. Okay. There's probably a gap somewhere there, and on the creator side of things, I feel like they think that we make it look so easy. And I know that because I was only a consumer of content just a year ago, right? Now that I'm on the creator side, and I used to watch like Jason, and I'd be like, man, he makes it look so easy. And I feel like they think that for me now. So there's a gap, right? And I feel like there's a gap between, for example, me and you, specifically with position sizes, which I'm going to ask you about here in a second, similar to how I feel like there's a gap between you and your brother, right? Like you said, you're
Mhm.
living in his shadow. behind his mountain. And so last cycle you weren't so much of a trader. This cycle you are more of a trader, and you're growing an account. And I'd love to hear really your mindset on how, like, how do you get to the point? I don't know what you were pulling last cycle, but I'm seeing your P&Ls now on Twitter. And like, how do you get to the point where you're putting mad money down? I get confidence. I get confidence with market cipher because I'm doing the same thing. Like, we're here doing the same thing, and it's all about the percentages. But like, how did you
Yeah.
get over the bridge, we'll say, between what you were doing last cycle versus this cycle? Is it because you know what you're capable of because you know what your brother's capable of and you're the same? Or like, how did you get your mindset to where you're at now, basically?
It's taken time. Like I said, I this so like everything I've done with the account that I'm trading with now, which is like high five figures in the green from like a couple months ago. Um, like it just took time. Like I didn't simply just put 100K up and just start going crazy with it. I started with 20K and like I was only doing like one trade a month. It was like those monthly leapfrog plays with the
Okay.
VWAPs. And I was like easing in and like testing out the strategy, making sure like the VWAPs and Market Cipher B was like a good enough combo to like have high quality trades, And so with those types of trades, like those once a month type of swings, I started kind of hitting it like kind of hard, And so like those were pretty high win rates. And then yeah, it's like during this month in particular, there's been a lot of really crazy VWAP interactions with like the daily time frame backing me up. So this
Yeah.
month has been a crazy month of trading where I'll get the criteria to enter one of those high confidence trades because it's just simply slamming against some major VWAP and like the daily time frame speaking to me. So but yeah, like it's just taken a couple months of ramping up after a couple months of like not even I mean, I did a lot of mindset shit and a lot of it like anybody who's followed me since the beginning of this year, Geo, like saw me talking about all sorts of things in regards to trading before I even started publicly trading.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about things like why do we trade? And like just the shorts I was making were I don't know, like looking back on my content from earlier this year, you could tell that like I was someone who was like really passionate about trading and was down to like have conversations as to like what is trading, why do we do it, why should we trade. I was talking about like how trading should come from a sense of duty and stuff and not from a sense of greed. And
Yeah.
so I did a lot of like Batman meditation, like just stuff, like as I was waiting for that Palu ID as well. Like a lot of this year was just spent just dedicating myself to the idea of like I'm going to be an amazing trader. And like it wasn't really until the like Q2 or maybe like the summer months where it's like it all just kind of culminated to a head. And you finally put the 100 grand up and these like the numbers that you see are just the numbers that you would see with $100,000 account.
Yeah.
Like trading gets easier the more money you have. It doesn't get harder. It gets easier because the more capital you have, like a small win for you now is like someone else's monthly salary. So it's like really easy to start racking up, oh, like 5K a day or like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like it gets a lot easier to just simply take what the market gives you when what the market gives you is like a whole month's salary. So that's a really good goal to get to is definitely to get like your trading account up to 100K because I feel like it feels the easiest and most natural than any other account size I've ever traded with. Like a $20,000 account, that was like always my go-to. Like for the last couple years was like I'll put 20K up and see what I can do with it. And like for some reason, like 10K, 20K, like having these like that number, like I traditionally have been swinger, like hit or miss with that, because it's tempting to like you're so close to like getting someone's monthly salary in like a single trade, but it's just like not quite like you want to like force feed it kind of thing. So trading with 100 grand has been awesome. That's all I gotta say is like you close 5 grand like it's nothing and like it feels really good. So
Yeah. I feel like that's a really big psychological breakout, I guess. When you have like big numbers like that. Like man, you said it, in one trade or in one month you made more money than some people make in a year. And I think that the people that don't have the big accounts that are trying to do this for real, they feel the pressure of earning a certain amount per day or certain amount per week or per month. Whereas you, when you're pulling in, I don't know how much you made this month, but let's just say 50 racks or whatever it is, uh, that's good for, like you said, a year. Maybe that's not your end goal for the year, and that's fine. But I feel like with bigger capital and with bigger confidence, you can not feel FOMO because you already made it big. Like, does that make sense?
yeah, when you're already big, there's almost like an insecurity. It's almost like a big guy in the gym and a little guy in the gym. Like the big guy knows he's big already, so like he doesn't have to do a lot of the things the little guy has to do to
Yeah.
like prove himself. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
man, it's like size matters in trading, bro.
Yeah,
Like
dude. And I feel like that's like a big thing that people, and I'm also trying to get over that hump. I've been very vocal about I've never had a 5-digit trade, and that still remains true to today. There was a time where I almost had it. I hit 8K and I just threw all my rules out the window because I focused on the number, which is ironically exactly what
mhm.
I preach not to do. And I don't want to say I feel the pressure, because you should never compare yourself to anybody else. But I'm like looking around and all my market cipher people are pulling in big numbers. And I'm like, okay, like I got to get over that hump. I want to get to a 10K trade. I want to get to, if I ever saw 50K in one trade or one month, I would be like ecstatic. Right. But I think with bigger sizes, you really, it, it's weird because I always preach the discipline aspect and have patience, and I always say patience pays. And when you have bigger account, and you should always trade, like if you could trade with $100 account, you could trade with $100,000 account. You're doing the same thing, right? It's all percentages, right? But I feel like with the bigger accounts, like you said, you don't feel the need to be in the market at all times. Like on that big drop that we had, I didn't make 10K, but I made a decent amount. And I didn't feel like I needed to catch the long because I already made so much on the short that I was content with. And I think that helped, psychologically for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. I mean, like for instance, let's say you're like a part-time trader and like you have another job and then you also have like a $20,000 trading account or something like you're not going to make the gains to justify blowing off your girlfriend's friend's wedding or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
going to how you have to go to a family dinner or like or whatever. Like you're not going to get the respect in your life as a trader. Like your moves that you're making in the market, the people in your life like aren't going to like justify you being like a I don't want to say this, but like it's like a bad person, like just to manage a position. Whereas when you have 100 grand and you're like, hey baby, I'm in a $40,000 profit Bitcoin long, like I can't take you to freaking Six Flags today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like your girl's thinking, okay, well, this is like he's morally justified, right?
Yeah. Like
So
without the
like,
trade, there's no Six Flags, baby. Like I can't take you
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. And
you
so
know?
at 100K, like you are a trader.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the people in your life will respect you as such, and like your moves are justified. Like staying up, losing an entire night's sleep is all of a sudden now worth it.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like when you're trading with a 20K account, it's like, man, what the fuck am I doing with my life, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so we always preach like it's not about like lifting the heaviest weights or like having the biggest trade. It's about the 1% gain and like it is about that steady growth. And like learning how to grow an account is super important. But it's just like this law of like large numbers thing. Like I guess like you could apply this logic to anything in life. Like the better you get at something, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
Like with push-ups, for instance, if like push-ups start off really hard, and then at a certain point you're like, okay, well this is easy. How do I make it harder? You know, because the regular push-up gets so easy, you have to do like weighted push-ups or like you have to do things to make it more difficult. So like things in life in general get easier the better, like the more time you put into them, and like the better you get at them. So
Yeah, man, I agree with that. The
trading's much the same.
first time you hit the gym, like you it feels like a truck hit you, and then on day 10, you like become immune to it. You become immune to the resistance. So I get that. And I actually relate oftentimes, like very often, I relate trading to the gym because they share a lot of the same elements. You need the discipline, you need the mindset, you need the drive. You can't be lazy. Like this is not a game for the faint of heart, especially when you have, like you said, 100K account. So
Yeah, there's no like end to it either. Like that's about both of those things, whether it's your fitness or like a trading journey or a fitness journey. There isn't really a satisfying conclusion. There's no point where you're just, oh, okay, I'm at the peak, I can stop now. You
yeah,
know, like there's no real like actual victory. And like the moments in your like on your journey where you feel like, ah, I've won, like it's always downhill from there, bro. Like for instance, like the big short I had at the very beginning of August, you know, where I find myself having doubled my trading account, and I'm just like what the hell did I just do, you know?
yeah,
And so I was like really like happy about myself and like obviously proud of that. And it just led to like a little bit of hubris. It led to like a little bit of like, shit, I gotta stop or else like I might bleed out like a good portion of these gains, and I'm not gonna like sacrifice this month as a positive month. Like that would be like so stupid to
yeah.
like to go from doubling an account to now like back to where I started. Like so you got to catch yourself like in those moments. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man, the psychology, bro, like I can't even tell you when learning, and this is something I always say too, like what's the point of making, 10K today if you're going to lose 8 tomorrow or lose 11 tomorrow and then make 5 and then lose 6, or
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like what's the
yeah,
point of
keeping the
that?
losses small. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. I like that's the thing is like I had like a couple trades where I was like, these losses are fucking huge, man. Like, what am I doing, bro? You know, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
money starts like bleeding quick. So you got to like when you catch yourself in that mode, that flopping and groping mode, you got to reflect on it. Like, why did it happen? Because I had a couple good wins and I started getting ego, like arrogant, you know, to myself, not to like other people, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
like in your own self, like you got to like deal with that. So yeah, man, whenever you like have a peak or like a moment where you're able to smile at your trading performance, like be careful, bro.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the devil on your shoulder. That's not like that's not a heavenly grin. You know, that's the devilish grin. Like with like it's like the greed that clicks on after a big win and stuff. So
Man, the ego
um
can really, really hurt you, really. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. A lot of people think, very highly of themselves when they have a big win. And, man, you've been around. The market can humble you real, real big.
Oh,
So,
instantly, man. Yeah, because everything on the account is at risk at the end of the day.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I use everything that's in the trading account, I use. And so obviously if there is a like dinosaur extinction level event type of thing that happens, that's gonna be like really bad for my account. So one of the first things I did when I doubled the account was I withdrew the initial investment. So I would say that if you are going to be trading with a lot of money, and you are doing well with it because you've tested the strategy, like it's been months and like you've got it down, and it's just time to start hitting things hard because scared money don't make no money and shit. Like just make sure that you are withdrawing profits regularly. Almost like every trade you make, like take half out, you know, and like set aside some of that for taxes or whatever.
yeah,
But make sure that you're paying yourself, and slowly getting that money off the exchange because like, yes, it would be nice to grow like 100K to 200K and then 200K to 500K, and then next thing you know, you're trading with a million. But like, it's all numbers on a screen, bro. And like, there could be just be a day where you wake up and you're a flopping groper.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
there is no like, oh, I'm a pro trader. Like you're just a trader who wakes up every day and like has to go through like the web of tough decisions that a trader has to go through. And like, there's so many factors that you just don't know if you're going to wake up today and like be like a retard or not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how smart you are, or how many people that you've taught how to do things properly. Like, you can wake up and like just not like just betray everything you've ever taught yourself. And so because of that fact of like psychology and like just that's just how humans operate, like I would say like make sure that you're paying yourself, like especially if you have a big account. If you double your account, get your initial investment off the exchange ASAP. If you're truly a good trader, you should be able to do that again. It should be like a replicable process. So,
Yeah,
after that,
man.
you're playing with house's money, and it's like, try to hit $1 million account size. But
Yeah, bro. I
yeah.
agree. I agree with that 100%, man. And you know what? It doesn't matter how right you were yesterday. You could be so wrong today and blow it all. And like I said, what's the point of making 10 racks today and then losing 15 tomorrow and then now you're bankrupt? Like what's the point of that? So I got a couple more questions for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been half an hour already, but I got a couple questions. So as somebody that has, you know, I'm gonna call this your dragon year, bro. I don't know if anyone's ever said that to you. I don't even know if that's a term, but I'm gonna make this is your dragon year.
Well, it's the Chinese year of the dragon this year. So
Oh,
like,
okay. Look at that. So
so
You're Chinese this year.
celestially speaking, yeah, it's a year of like leaders coming to the forefront. It's a year of like, think about a dragon, bro. Like, a dragon will sleep in his cave and like just be like guard his treasure. And a dragon can be like a recluse or like dormant. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you could be this like creature of immense power, not doing anything with it. And there's like this corruption that comes with that, of like, why is this like gigantic, royal, super powerful, godlike creature like just sitting around doing nothing with everything God gave him? And so, being like the year of the dragon, I feel like it's a year of like if you were someone who was gifted with special powers, like this was your year to like come out of your cave and like breathe fire on like whatever corruption like think, imagine like you're a dragon, you come out of your cave and all you see is like the kingdoms of men killing each other and being all fucked up and sinning and whatever. So it's like up to you now that you're out of your cave, to breathe fire on all the bullshit going on in your life and like
Yep.
fix the problems you've been sitting on and not doing things about. So yeah, it's a year of leaders like finally rising to the occasion and like being who they were meant to be all along. And I definitely got caught up in that. Like, the year of the dragon's my ship, bro. And
Well,
and
there you
if
go.
if you look at the magic card, bro, he evolves into a dragon. So like,
Yeah, the Gyarados, right? So
yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of
Well,
answered the question. I was gonna say like, you know, you're doing very well and you have evolved. Maybe last cycle you were a Magikarp and this cycle you're a Gyarados. And I was gonna ask, do you have any advice for people that might still be Magikarps or for people that I don't know if Pokemon devolve, but maybe they were a dragon and then they kind of, found a dark path and they're maybe gambling and not really just in general, for someone that is now in the spotlight, but has his own mountain, branching off from his successful brother, and someone that wants to be on the mountain next to you, do you have any words of wisdom on just your overall? You don't got to get too deep with it, but your overall journey. Like, how did you? Any words of wisdom for someone that wants to go from a Magikarp to a Gyarados?
I would say that you never fully evolve. Like I said, you could wake up any day and you're like, dang it, I'm a magic carp again. Like, you're
Oh
always
man.
you're always gonna, I'm telling you, man, there is no like, I can relax, you know? It's like always gonna be a struggle in your mind of like, am I the dragon or am I a freaking flopping
It's so
freaking
fun.
fish?
That's so
You know,
funny.
like
It's
I
really
don't know,
funny.
man. But yeah, just always I guess remain humble in that regard. Like don't the moment you're like, I'm a dragon, you know, it's like, dude, you're gonna get wrecked.
Oh man, that
But
is
it is a
so
fun thing
funny,
to
bro.
talk about. Like it is obviously like everybody should awaken their potential. Everyone should wake the fuck up and start tackling this like the way that they always wanted to, in a safe fashion. Like if you see a certain red number, you got to pull out, you got to snip those ship bags. And typically I find myself doubling down into winning trades way more than I find myself dollar cost averaging into a ship bag. Like
Oh yeah.
rarely do I ever do that. I always like try to find the best entry possible, and as it goes in my favor, then I'll add more contracts to it. And by like scaling in, that's another big thing is that's like I'm a dragon, so I'm scaling, bro. There's like scales and shit.
Wow, look at that.
But
The metaphors are real
yeah,
today.
I always ease in, with like 200K contracts and then like another 200K contracts. Like you ease in and you don't just want to like flop all the way in, because if the market moves against you immediately, like if the initial idea is wrong, you really pay for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
make sure that you get in at a good entry, scale in, let some candles close, get some verifications, get yourself weasel into that position. And if I mean, if you're trading with real size, like you have the time and dedication to watch it, to kind of baby it a bit, and like just manage the trade, because you're gonna, if you go to sleep, you're gonna have to put a stop. If you're gonna have to put a stop, that means your entry's got to be great, or else like you are gonna get stopped out. So
Yeah.
signs I look for entries, or like if it's a short, you want to see like a clear short setup on the scalp time frames, and you want the daily backing you up, and you want a major interaction around a VWAP or whatever your chosen support or resistance methodology is, whether it's spider lines or naked points of control,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
VWAPs. Like you got to see the big time frame, the small time frame, and the support and resistance speaking to you, like to take the trade. And you scale in, and don't accept the loss. Like if it is coming back up to your entry, you could always get back in again. So don't just accept a loss. I would say
Yeah.
like take the wins when you get them, because oftentimes you'll get caught in this little range where you'll see like the profit go up and down multiple times. Like just the other day, I was in a trade and like I entered a short and I see 10K unrealized, and then it went down to zero, and then it went up to 10K again, then it went back to zero. I'm like, dude, why am I not like closing this trade and like
Yeah, man.
re-entering it?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the big numbers. And again, I always talk about percentages. Like, don't focus on the dollars. But like I'm the same, bro. And like when I go big and I'm working my way up to bigger positions, like if I saw 10K and then it was gone, and then I saw it again, like that's 20K. Like that's a car.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
man, that's dude, it stacks up quick. And it's like, man, I don't even try to catch the absolute tops or bottoms. Like even though like I do try to get those good entries, it often is about finding those like windows of opportunity where the move seems confident. Like that
yeah.
doesn't always mean you're catching a move from the top or from the bottom. There could be some point, once, like I tend to basically buy strength or sell weakness.
Yeah.
Like once you see that gap of our, it's about finding that window that you can jump in. It's not always about sniping the literal top or bottom. Like usually that's just luck. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
bit of skill, but a lot of it is kind of luck. Like if you trade every day, you're gonna catch a couple wicks, like right exactly like at the top or bottom. But
Yeah.
it's more about catching the windows.
You know what, man? I used to be like trying to catch like to the dollar thing, and I used to, especially when I first started the YouTube. I've developed as a trader so much since I started just over a year ago. And I used to try to get like the nice P&Ls and whatever, but realistically, like I don't think it's a sustainable strategy, and I think that that's a big misconception in trading. is people think that you need to catch the tops, and if you don't, you miss the trade. When in reality, if you know what you're doing, you can really get in from anywhere. And you can't see my screen right now, but I'm like, I have a scalp ready to go. I'm like waiting to see if it's going to play out. So the people on YouTube are going to be able to see it later. But you know what you guys are seeing on the screen right now is a good example of how you can literally get in from anywhere. You don't need to get in from the exact tops or bottoms. You can adjust to what the market gives you. It's always
No,
going to
no,
present some
yeah,
ideas.
oftentimes buying after a few confirmations is like the way to go. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're knife catching. So
Yeah.
it actually is better to await a few confirmations. Like you'll see an anchor wave, and it's like, oh, you could long there. That's a leading symbol of an emerging uptrend. But if you wait for the trigger wave, that's
That's
you're
the
probably just
money. That's your
maybe
money.
you don't make as much money, but you save like 10 times as much time. Like you're not like sitting in a ranging, flopping groper price action, like watching your entry drown and come back up and drown and come back up. Like if you just wait for the trigger wave, you save yourself a lot of hassle. And then like you could wait for the price to come up over the intraday VWAP after that. So there's always like another level of confirmation and verification, and it's up to you whether you want to be more on the leading side or the lagging side. And I mean that not in like a lagging is bad or leading is good. There's just two different styles. There's like the trader who takes like the trade like as soon as he sees it, or like one who waits for confirmations. Like
Yep.
they both of those strategies, both of those approaches comes with slight upside and slight downsides.
Yeah,
So
they definitely have their benefits, and like I said, I've developed a lot as a trader in the last year or so, and I'm actually even a bigger proponent on not even trying to catch the knife, because when you're catching the knife, you don't know where your stop loss is going to go. Like this thing could wick out 5% in 1 second if you're dumping real quick, like the 49K dump that we had earlier this month. But if you
yeah.
do wait for that anchor trigger and you do get the confirmations, I mean, I have ways where I can get in on a way better risk to reward, even though technically the P&L will show a worse entry, right? But I think like a lot of people get caught up on the P&Ls, and same with like crypto Twitter, and it's all propaganda at the end of the day, because number one, it doesn't matter what the P&L is. I could put 10 cents in it and say, look, I caught the bottom. And number
All
two,
that matters is where can I put the stop loss? But yeah, sorry. What
No,
was
no, no.
number two?
Yeah. That's so with me, like when I'm starting a trade, um, the beginning of the trade always for me starts with a stop loss. Like entry is important, yes, but the beginning starts with where's your invalidation for me. And so when I do it the way where once the market starts to show strength or starts to show weakness, as opposed to catching the exact wick, I can get a way better risk to reward, even though technically on the P&L shot, I have a worse entry. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I totally I vibe with that 100%, man, because like for me it's more important to see price like let's say we come over a VWAP. Okay, well now I can put my stop underneath that VWAP,
Yeah.
and then just watch it go up. So you it's like, but I gotta see the price come and come on top of that VWAP first to see that strength. I gotta see the strength. I gotta see
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see what I want to see.
Exactly. And if you do it before, then
Let
you're
me see
just
them
gambling.
titties.
Yeah. 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 Literally. Like, get those Jerry beads out.
Let me see those. Let me see those double peak, those blue waves, man. Let me see
Mardi
the red
Gras.
dot nips. Yeah,
Mardi Gras Mondays.
yeah. I just let the market flash her titties at you, and then
Yeah.
you don't just go grabbing around. You can't be like Joe Biden, just like sticking your hands out trying to find some titties in the dark.
Yeah. She's got to be
No,
smiling at you
if
and flirting with you.
yeah, no, if they are presented, then you can grab them.
Then they're out for the taking. That's funny, man. All right,
Yeah.
I got one more question for you before I let you go, and I appreciate your time. Overall market, what are we thinking about it? Macro.
Oof, man, good question. I think that so right now we've fallen back to the August anchor levels. So, like our monthly averages, we've been all over the place this month. Like August has been a legendary month for trading, starting with an epic dump, coming back up and like clinging to those monthly VWAP averages and like kind of looking a little indecisive, but then getting that long play up into like the 64K. But slamming against the all-time high anchor, the VWAP placed at the all-time high, like that's like a death sentence. Like before, we were at least trying to start like a new bull run on top of that VWAP, but this time around with that 64K rejection, it was just a clean rejection off that VWAP. So
Yeah.
I'm quite bearish until that all-time high anchor is vanquished. So we would have to come all the way up to like 64K or whatever for me to really like get okay, like bull market's back on or whatever. Like we have a long ways to go before
Yeah.
I'm like ape mode whatsoever.
Before the
Um
market's flashing her titties.
yeah, and so now we've typically I expect this like fall back to the previous month's anchor like at the start or middle of the following month. So I actually was not expecting like a dump down to this August anchor level until like the start or middle of September, but we got it early. So that makes me think like, maybe we're going to fall below this month's anchor, and in September we get a little bit of upside. Like
Was that
basically
the
this month is
49K one?
um
Was it
which one?
49K? The you're saying the month's anchor? Was that from
Yeah,
the July
The
one?
August monthly anchor. Let me see where it's at right
Let me
now.
pull it up.
It's
I'm gonna pull it up also. Let me see if I can get these
the
guys.
August monthly anchor is currently at 59K, and we're like starting to dump below it now on the scalp time frame. So what I believe is happening is we are racing to it's a race to the bottom. It's just like being friends with like a bunch of liberals, bro. It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Like August is basically okay, like we topped out in August, so now we're just like dumping down until literally September 1st.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. So these last few days of August are going to be bloody. We're probably going to be underneath the August anchor here, so we're probably going to be underneath 59K in a couple days. I don't think we're going to hold. Um,
Yeah.
so like I'm pretty bearish, not going to lie, going into September. There might be
So
some upside, like retracement or something in like beginning or middle of September, but
I think
I'm just bearish,
I
bro.
I think it's done, bro. I think it's done personally. I don't think we're gonna see 60 like that high that we put in a couple days ago, that 65K, whatever high. Uh I don't think that we're gonna see that again for quite some time. Things can change, if I'm watching structure, things can change. But for now, I don't think we're gonna see 65K. And last question, really, I mean it's still related, but how low, I gotta ask this. How low do you think we're going? Like on this, I don't mean ever, but let's just say we're going to hit all time high again in the next, I don't know, year. Pretend 74K, we're going to hit it again. What's the lowest that we see Bitcoin between now and then, do you think?
I would say that assuming like something in the world majorly bad doesn't happen, like, and it's just normal market movements, I would say the lowest that we would need to see is like 40K, 40 to 43K. Like when you go down there and like you basically are checking the people who bought in at the ETF news at the start of this year, you're basically testing the yearly open. That's all I want is a test of the the yearly candle open,
Yeah.
and that it does a good job of flushing out all the fair weather people who like only got into Bitcoin and crypto because of the ETFs or because of like the big things that came to Bitcoin this year. Like we were blessed with a lot of really bullish fundamentals, and for us to crunch down and kick all those people out, that would be like a perfect catalyst for it to start going up again. Like if we could just simply test that yearly open and just make the ETF hype like make people look stupid for buying into Bitcoin like back in like January and February. So that to me would be like normal. Obviously, if like something terrible happens in the world, like I don't know, like a presidential candidate dies, or like for instance, the Treasury bonds like just on the yield curve just uninverted and like crossed zero yesterday. So like who knows, man? Maybe like a recession, maybe like the S&P tops out, or like just maybe like some big thing like a macro event like a 2008 crisis comes along,
Yeah.
then we'd likely go lower. But assuming like that's like I'm not gonna like bet on recession
Oh yeah,
quite
that's
yet.
you can't do
There's
that.
there's so many confirmations that you could wait for to like really hit that idea hard.
Yeah.
I'm not subscribed to that just yet, but outside of that, I think a dump to like 40 to 43 would just be like normal healthy market movement because it's just the previous year's year to date VWAP. Like it just makes sense to like if this run was a failure, which it looks like it is a failure, it's just like all lower highs, lower lows.
Yeah.
Well, where do we go to fall back to? Like it would just make sense to fall back to the previous year's average, get a little bit of traction and like just continue up. So
I
that's like
agree.
a best case scenario.
I agree with you, man. I think you know, I think people are too bullish. You know my opinion on that. I've been very vocal on my channel. I've been very vocal on Twitter. But I don't think that it's anything scary at all. And I think that a lot of people discredit it and they think that it can't go there. I do not think that the bull market is over if we go to 43K, like many people do. And, you know, I'm going to be wild here and I'm going to give you literally an exact dollar amount that I think that maybe we bottom out at. And to
Okay.
anybody listening, maybe I'm wrong. Things can change. You know, I could be bullish tomorrow if the market shows me strength, right? If the market's flashing me some titties, then you know I'm gonna I'm gonna grab them. But for right
All right, where do you
now,
think it's going?
if I'm gonna give you an exact price right now, which is kind of crazy, I'm gonna say 40544.
Damn, that's super specific, bro. Let me give you a let me see. Let me give you a
I
total
have
here.
reason for it. While you pull up or while you're looking at whatever the
My number
people
is 40,589. That's my number.
589. I'm gonna mark it in actually. I'm gonna
And
write.
all it is, there's no like flopping Groper logic. It's just the January 1st, 2023 anchored VWAP. So like it's down there in the 40s.
Okay, so
If we hit
you're
that,
so you're
we
front running
test the
my
yearly
level.
open.
So you're front
Yeah.
running my level by like 50 bucks, 40 bucks.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll
Okay.
be right first. I'll be right first, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see if it goes $1 over then.
I'll be tweeting my victory before you. All right,
Oh
thank you, Gio,
man.
man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you,
Hey,
man.
I appreciate you coming on, man. It's always good to talk to you. And yeah, man, it was a real pleasure to hear your insights. And to anybody watching, I mean, obviously you're gonna be watching from home, but anybody that's watching on YouTube, I hope that this conversation provided you value. And yeah, if there's nothing else, Nick, I appreciate you,
I would
brother.
just say that make sure you guys like and subscribe to Geo, like comment on the video. This guy works harder than anybody in the space. He's a fantastic teacher of like market structure and market cipher. So it's just a deadly combination, man. Like you're an absolute sniper. You are countered, like you're not afraid to go against the grain, which is something that like you need so much as a trader. So everyone has a lot to learn from you, man. And like you are the dragon and the flopping roper all at once. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna get where I need to go one day. It's like technically you're here already, bro. You are who you need to be to reach whatever status you want. You just need to simply keep going. And you're just, I mean, if let's say something happened and like you were like stunted in your trading journey, you would look back and think, dang, the me like from August was on fire and had nothing stopping him. He was just like going. So you're going, bro. You're pedaling those pedals and you're freaking doing it, man. And
Well,
everybody sees it. So I just appreciate having you, man, as a part of the MC squad.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the kind words. Guys, go subscribe to Nick. The link is in the description down below. And he also has a VWAP strategy, which I need to look into myself because he front ran my level by $40. So if he ends up being right, then he might know a thing or two that I don't know. So I'm going to check it out. Perhaps I'll do a recap on his VWAP strategy. And Nick, it's always a pleasure. You're always welcome here. Go subscribe to Nick, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Peace, bro.
Cool. See you, Nick. Thanks.